start interviewing more advocates like Arnetta Valera from the NGO side. And
cultural differences, they might be abused.
Seen as a secondary source of income have become the main source. And there's also issues of harmful practices that migrate with the families. Practices such as beating behind dowry, female genital mutilation. Issues of women are brought to a second-class level, and they're denied. It doesn't have to be granted.
thank you very much, Ms. Peek. That was a very, of course, for being with us today. Thank you so much. So I'd like to open the floor for the answer. We have exactly 18 minutes before we go for lunch break, so make it quick and brief.
I'm Laura Kibahan. I represent the Filipino American Association of Stanford. How do we recognize those victims? 99% of the victims will not come forward for fear of deportation, fear of not being protected. People that's victim or here illegally will not seek help because of those fear, the victims, instead of welcoming the victim to come forward. Because or I am illegal alien in the United States.
You definitely identified the largest challenge we all face. And I actually think that...
I went first to the Department of State. They told me to contact USCIS. USCIS put me in the U visa. And they said, don't worry with the supplement B. I thought it was real.
People. That's where it starts.
From this place, they say we have never seen like this. You need to go to the federal. The FBI says there is not a lot of money that is involved here.
We the people, I personally feel that there is a violation going on. Learn about the law and then, you know, I have a reason.
So specifically with the U visa, one of the things
violation of billions of dollars for violation of the H-1B program. So we wanted to let Mr. Badwai that with this type of resource, like Ms. Garrett just mentioned, we will try to work closely in partnership with government agencies so we can find a mutual beneficial solution to both the schools and your family and to you personally, and of course, have that main issue of serving the national interest of this country, as well as serving really what matters most to all of us parents.
Yeah, my name is Har Belia. I am a member of the Migrant Heritage Commission, the Progressive Alliance for Filipino Americans, members of the Knight of Columbus from Silver Spring.
Be helped. The profile of a lot of Filipinos who've been victims of human trafficking and crimes end up taking care of themselves because they're not aware of their rights in the first place, and they fall under the category of undocumented immigrants, or what we call TNT, or Tago ng Tago. And so this adds more to their fear, because they're not just victims, they are now part of those illegals deemed to be breaking the law. So they're just so afraid to come out and be deported as a result of their
strategize about where you need to, where we need to help. And sometimes local law enforcement doesn't understand that. Sometimes the Department of Labor doesn't understand that. They think that it's only the federal government, the feds, ICE, or the FBI that are filling that out. And in most cases, because if you saw the type of crime that the U visa qualifies for, most of those are not federal crimes, they're state and local. And so that form should be filled out. Visa is done, so I can't really speak on from my agency, but I think that's a question for the larger community.
Okay, I apologize for that question.
No apologies.
No, it's fine.
But
all questions are fine.
There's another thing.
Unbroken record. We the people. The media can help by bringing the story out, by having people like Ashley and interviewing.
That's why the protocol, and then in the international convention set the basis for what countries do. But what you need is each country needs to have laws that are similar enough so that when you get in from the law included all of the types of criminal behavior that can occur. And so we need to make sure that in all countries that is criminal behavior and are here to help. And we do want to reach out. There's also a National Human Trafficking Resource Hotline, and they do a lot of promotion across the country, but they also have the hotline available 24 hours a day. So anybody that sees anything that is of a concern can call that hotline and report it. And we have a relationship with that hotline to refer tips on if we think there's a victim. They send us the information so that as the law enforcement agency we can respond and respond appropriately. Each and every one of you, that we can continue to identify and assist victims. And the other part I will reiterate is that we, in the United States, we are made up of the laws that are living law. The Trafficking Victims Protection Act is reauthorized every few years, and there are changes made to it every time based on what each of you and the movement behind protecting victims says the evolving face of trafficking is. It's up for reauthorization as we speak. It's being rewritten.
Not 1:15, but earlier, because we are spilling over, and we have additional testimonial guest speakers. Bon appetit, everyone, and thank you so much for the wonderful morning session.
I was looking for
It's trafficking.
Because they're supposed to teach here, and now their teaching is being disrupted because they don't understand. I don't have.